Knoblox Dance presents.
Let me I'm standing like, I have my right leg crossing my
Okay.
left, my the balls of my right leg are touching the floor, and I am holding my left wrist, and all my weight is on my left leg, and I'm just like, just
Wait,
resting.
uh-huh.
I'm just resting, and my right leg is not like weight bearing, so it's very gestural. My right leg is gestural, and this position is something where my hip is curved, my torso is deflected to the other direction, so there is the opposition, and my neck is also doing something. My neck is going to the left, so
Oh,
my
yeah.
neck is to the left, and I can look down, I can use my eyes to circle around, and then I could perhaps use my hand and my eyes uh, to sort of again look up this way. Yeah, I'm thinking. And then I can switch gears and move around. And here I'm a little more seated as a posture. And here I'm again switching my torso, and I'm not moving my hips. I'm not moving my hips, and I'm literally stamping my toe to the floor, which
Mhm.
is echoing in the torso, right? The toes are echoed in the torso, right? And then I could perhaps add a balancing posture. I could perhaps add hand variations, and then continue my balances and my directional changes, right? So uh, this is an idea of the
Ah,
S-shaped, right? Apart from the S-shaped, you also have a very square posture. This is the square posture, and it emulates Jagannath, the deity, the presiding deity that I mentioned. It emulates Jagannath. So
in
this is
lesser like first position in ballet.
very, yeah, exactly. So your sort of, tailbone is pointing
Right.
down, you're literally straight spine, and you are bending, and your feet are almost turned out depending on your, ability. So isolation, coordination, and definitely this idea of opposition is at the central core of Odyssey, because you take your eyes and your neck to one direction while your torso goes to the other direction. So even if you see this picture that I have behind
Yeah,
me,
lovely.
you see an S curve. An S curve is a significant characteristic of Odyssey. Yeah, so you see this S curve. So the upper body is really in that S curve, while the lower body is strongly grounded
Good.
square.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the lower body is not in this S curve. So the ideas of opposition is at the foundation of Odyssey, apart from this minuscular isolation and coordination of gestural detailing, energetic commencement, a spiritual involvement, and emotional depth and investment, and definitely the sheer physicality of the movement. Uh, if you see the different dance forms, you will for an outsider it might be very hard to understand, what is the difference between
Yeah, that was
Bharatanatyam.
my. I was about to.
Yeah, right. What is the difference between Bharatanatyam and Odissi? They look the same to me. I mean, I've had that question before. Well, the reason for the similar or similarities is because we follow this pan-Indian or text Natya Shastra, right? So certain gestural, like all of us use pataka, tripataka, ardha pataka, kartarimpa. These are basic gestures that everybody uses. All of us use the same eyes and the same head and the same neck, and but then although we use the same, certain things we use the same, but the regional variations that have happened to these particular details are immense. The regional variations are immense. So for example, in Bharatnatyam you would do like a straight hand, right? I saw you have a Bharatnatyam dancer in your podcast, but yeah, right. But in Odissi we would never do anything straight. We would always have a bent elbow. Yeah, always a bend, always a circular arc. Either a circular arc in the sense that a complete circle or a complete half circle, or a curve that would keep on switching its radius and the circular center, right?
There's
So
no like straight or
no straight, nothing linear happening, nothing linear in
that's
Odyssey.
interesting. Mhm.
Yeah, in order for a center to run, there has to be some, there has to be some accountability, practicality, and a strong footing on your ground. So as scholars we tend to be very theoretically rich and astute, and that is great. But the grant world uh, is a little more practical than the scholarly
Yes,
world,
yes.
the academic world.
Yes.
So
That's why I received so many rejection letters recently.
yeah, right. So just, yeah, be prepared for rejection. You might as well die trying. What's the point in living anyway, right? I mean, there's COVID now. What else is coming along the way? Who knows? Yeah, so for me it's more important that what you have to have something to say, right? Either it is to preserve an existing tradition, or you're breaking stuff completely and you want to share your voice, whatever it is you want to say. I think that uniqueness has to come from a place of integrity, and when it comes from a place of integrity, it does reach your viewers, because that clicks. The position of integrity clicks.
Thanks for taking your time to tune into Dance Behind the Screen, a bi-monthly interview series where we go behind the screen to question process, product, and social media. Be sure to follow us on social media at KNOW Box Dance. See you next time, and don't forget to say no to the box.